economics, and it can also be found in microeconomics, especially intermediate microeconomics. Okay. Yeah, so the question is coming from market structure. The question is, a monopoly's inverse demand function is P is equal to 100 minus Q. The company produces at two facilities. The marginal cost of producing at facility 1 is 4Q1, and the marginal cost of producing at facility 2 is 2Q2. So the question is, provide the equation for the monopoly's marginal revenue function. Hint, recall that Q1 plus Q2 is equal to Q, right? So we want to get the marginal revenue function. But we know by now that marginal revenue comes from total revenue. It is after differentiating total revenue that we end up getting the marginal revenue, right? And what we also know is that total revenue is just the product of price and quantity, right? So in the statement, we've been told that the price is 100 minus Q. Okay, right, meaning that where there is P there, we are going to put 100 minus Q. So total revenue is equal to 100 minus Q. We're multiplying this by Q, right? Therefore, total revenue is equal to 100 Q minus Q squared. This is after multiplying this Q outside by everything in the brackets, right? But the question is asking us to get the marginal revenue, right? Which by now we know that this is just the change in total revenue due to a change in output. In short, we're going to differentiate this function with respect to Q, right? So that will give us 100 minus, okay, minus 2Q, okay? If you are still behind on how to differentiate, please, you can check the other videos that I remember doing some tutorial video on differentiation. Okay, so after differentiating, we get 100 minus 2Q, right? Okay, now what we also know is that because we've been told in the question that actually this Q, okay, so after adding Q1 output produced at facility 1 plus output produced at facility 2, that is when you're going to get the total output produced by this firm, right? Okay, so what we know therefore is that while there is Q there, we can replace that with Q1 and Q2, okay, meaning that marginal revenue is equal to 100 less 2 open brackets, we add Q1 and Q2. So there's no difference between this equation and that equation there. Okay, the only thing that we've done is just substituting. While there's Q, we put what's supposed to be there. Then we can just open the brackets. So this would be minus 2 Q1, then minus 2 Q2. So this is the marginal revenue for this firm. Okay, so which means we are done with part A. We can now go to part B. Okay, now with part B, the question is saying determine the profit maximizing level of output for each facility. So determine the profit maximizing level of output for each facility. What we know is that profit is maximized at a point where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Okay, so this then means that for firm 1 we should find its profit maximizing output, so for facility 1, and then we should also do the same with facility 2, right? So let's get the equation that is going to describe the profit maximizing output for firm number 1. Therefore, what we're going to do is to get the marginal revenue function, we equate it to marginal cost of firm number 1. Okay, so we're going to get the marginal revenue, right? We're going to get the marginal revenue function and then equate it to marginal cost of firm number 1, so that we can get firm 1's function for its profit maximizing output. Okay, so therefore profit maximizing output for firm number 1 is going to be determined at a point where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost for facility number 1, right? So this is going to be marginal revenue is the same, 100 minus 2 Q1 less 2 Q2, which should then equal to marginal cost of firm number 1. But we've been told in the statement that the marginal cost of producing at facility 1 is 4Q1. So this is equal to 4Q1. Then from here you can just get the like terms together. We collect the like terms together, right? So let's do that. So it's going to be negative 2Q1, and then this 4Q1 should cross the equal sign so that it can join the other term with Q1. So that will be minus 4Q1 is equal to, now what we should do is we get this minus 2Q2, we take it the other side, so that it's going to be 2Q2, and then we get this 100, also take it the other side, so it's going to be minus 100, like that. Okay, let me move this thing a bit so that we can have space. Right, so minus 2Q1 minus 4Q1, this is the minus 6Q1, right, is equal to 2Q2 less 100. Now we can divide by minus 6 throughout, right, like that. So we cancel that, we end up making a function that is describing profit maximizing output for facility number 1, right? So this will be, we can do the division there, right? So that we have we can find a common term between 2 and 6, which is the 2 itself. So at the end of it all, we should get something like a minus Q2 over 3, right? And then plus here we can also find something that we can reduce. We can find a number that can go into 6 and 100, so you can reduce it. That is a 2, right? So why are we saying plus? It's because the numerator is negative, the denominator is also negative, so negative and negative will become plus. So this can be 50 over 3, right, like that. So this is the function that is describing the output produced by firm number that is produced at facility number 1. Next, should also do the same for facility number 2, right? So we also know that profit is maximized at a point where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost of firm number 2, right? Okay, so this means that the marginal revenue function is the same one here. So it's going to be 100 less 2Q1 less 2Q2 is equal to, now we've been told in the statement, right? We've been told in the statement that the marginal cost of firm number 2 is 2Q2. Okay, so the marginal cost of producing at facility number 2, is 2Q2. So we do this same steps just as we've done previously, right? So let's collect like terms together. So this is going to be minus 2Q2, then we get this 2Q2, it comes this side, so minus 2Q2 again. This is equal to positive 2Q1 less 100, like that. Okay, like that. Next is to sum this up. So minus 2Q2 minus 2Q2, this is minus 4Q2, which should equal 2Q1 less 100. Then divide by minus 4 there, and also there minus 4, like that. Okay, we cancel that, we are going to remain with Q2 is equal to, so same thing, should just find a number that can go into 2 and 4, right? So that we can simplify that. All right, so it's just 2 itself, right? So when you simplify this, it's gonna be q1 over 2, of course, is minus, and then we have a minus on top, a minus down, which becomes plus. 4 into 100 is just a 25. So this is now the function describing output for FEM2. But the statement is saying, can we get the actual output values, right? Let me squeeze that a bit. Right, so for us to get the actual values that will maximize profit, what we can do is, since we have made q1 equal to minus q2 over 3 and then plus 50 over 3, right, we can substitute. So we can use the substitution method, right? So we can use the substitution method, where in q1, where there is q2 there, we can put this, because we've defined q2 to be that, right? So let's do just that. So it's gonna be minus minus q2 over 3, right, which we know that our q2 is this term here. Okay, it's that term there. So it's going to be minus, open brackets, we put minus q1 over 2 plus 25. Okay, we are dividing this by 3. Okay, and then plus 50 over 3. So what we've done is just substituting. What is q2, we put back what q2 is. Okay, right. So this then means that, we can just open the brackets. So q1 is equal to, so negative negative is positive, so this is more like saying this is more like saying this negative and that negative will give us plus. Okay, so that will give us plus. So this is gonna be positive q1, okay, over 2, okay, then plus minus. Okay, so minus, why minus? Is because there's a minus outside and then there's a positive inside, so that will give us minus 25. We are saying that this whole term, we are dividing it by 3, right? Yeah, we are dividing this by 3, and then plus 50 over 3. Okay, yeah. So to reduce the complication, okay, what we can do is, I believe you agree with me that this is the same thing as saying, okay, this is the same thing as saying q1 is equal to, okay, q1 is equal to, what we can do is, if you want, we can solve this as it is, as a fraction. Okay, or alternatively, what we can do is, we know that q1 over 2 is just 0.5 q1, so that is 0.5 q1, and then we've got minus 25. Okay, then we're dividing this by 3, right, and then plus 50 over 3. So what we can do now is just to simplify this, so that we end up having in short, we get rid of the what's this, the fractions. Okay, so q1 is equal to 0.5 divided by 3. This is gonna give us 0.16667. Okay, so you can, for now, can keep it to 4 decimal places. So this is gonna give us 0.16667 q1 minus, and then we do 25 divided by 3, we should give us 8.3333. It's okay, even if it's in points, it's fine. We'll deal with it later on. So minus 8.3333, and then plus, we can also deal with the 50 divided by 3. Okay, so that we get rid of the fractions. So this is gonna be 16.6667, right? So now we can collect like terms together from here, okay, because we have because we have Q1 here, we also have got Q1 there. Okay, so let's do that. It's gonna be Q1 minus 0.16667 Q1, right, is equal to so this is equal to minus 8.3333 plus 16.6667, like that. Okay, so Q1 minus 0.1667 Q1, what you do is you can just factor out Q1, then I've got 1 minus 0.1667, okay, is equal to, then you deal with this one, so 16 minus 8 point, this is giving me 8.333, okay, like that. All right, and then when we do 1 raised to 0.16667, it's giving me 0.83333. okay, so this is more like saying 0.8333, okay, Q1 is equal to 8.3333. then we divide by 0.8333, we also divide by 0.8333, cancel that, so that the actual output that is going to maximize profit at facility number 1 is 8.333 divided by that, which is giving us exactly 10 units. Okay, so exactly 10 units. Okay, there. So now we know that at facility number 1 we can produce 10 units. Okay, we know that at facility number 1 we can produce 10 units. Next is to find the x2, okay, sorry, Q2, okay, output that can be produced at facility number 2. But we have this function here where we've said that Q2 is equal to minus Q1, right? It's minus Q1 over 2 plus 25, right? But we know now that Q1 is just 10, which means we can also substitute there. So it's going to be minus 10 over 2 plus 25, right? So therefore Q2 is equal to, we know that this is just more like saying it's just more like saying because we know by now anyways that 2 into 10 is minus 2 into minus 10 is minus 5, right? So minus 5 plus 25, therefore Q2 is equal to 20 units. 20 units. So this then means that Q1 is we've said is 10, and then Q2 is 20. Therefore total industry output is just going to be Q1 plus Q2. So it's going to be 10 plus 20, giving us 30 units in total. Okay, anyway, the question was just asking us to get these two. Okay, but in case the question is asking for total industry output, this is what you do, you just add the two. Okay, so until next time, from me, it's a bye.